India is set to make history in the coming week with its Chandrayaan-3 lunar module set to land on the moon on Wednesday. Unfortunately, Russia's Luna-25 spacecraft that was to have landed a day earlier has crashed and the mission has ended. Now, as the clock ticks away, all eyes are on India's Chandrayaan-3 lunar probe. Per the latest update, a landing has been scheduled for 1800 hours IST. That's 12:34 p.m. GMT on Wednesday. Russia's maiden moon lander Luna-25 crashed on the lunar surface after suffering a mishap on Saturday, the 19th of August. The incident was confirmed by its space agency Roscosmos, marking a tragic end to the country's first moon mission in 47 years. Details revealed that the Russian lander was moving into its final pre-landing orbit when the mishap took place. Luna-25 was expected to make a soft landing on the moon on Monday, 21st of August. But the Russian space agency lost contact with the spacecraft on Saturday during a critical maneuvering phase of the mission. Meanwhile, India's Chandrayaan-3 is inching closer to the moon. Currently, the lander is in an orbit which brings the craft as close as 25 kilometers away from the moon. Let's now take a quick look at the latest details we have on the moon landing. First of all, the latest maneuver to bring the craft to its final orbit was done at 2 a.m. Indian Standard Time on Sunday. This is the second and final deboosting of the Vikram lander. Second, in the next 3 days, the lander craft will test its various onboard instruments and sensors. The much-anticipated lunar landing is slated to happen on Wednesday. The Indian Space Research Organization says that the spacecraft will land on the moon using a powered descent maneuver. The time of the landing has also been declared by ISRO, and Chandrayaan-3 will touch down on the lunar surface at 6 p.m. Indian Standard Time.
Chandrayaan-3 spacecraft is being sent to the moon with the objective of making yet another Chandrayaan-3.
We're now being joined by Professor Narendra Bhandari. He's a space scientist, Chandrayaan-1 mission of ISRO from Ahmedabad. Professor, thank you very much for joining us at this hour and welcome to the program. I will start by asking you, what implications will this crash have on future lunar missions, not only for Russia, but other nations who are planning the same?
Failure is a part of the process, you see. This is a very difficult maneuver. First, one has to go into elliptical orbit around the moon, then circularize it, and then make it another elliptical orbit very close to the moon. This Luna-25 had started some trouble 2 days ago, and they could not manage it. It went out of control, and you see the nearest distance to the moon was only a few kilometers. So it is not surprising that it crashed when it went out of control. This, of course, doesn't mean a permanent failure. I think they will launch another mission.
Right.
And Chandrayaan-3 is well on its way. So let us hope that on Wednesday we'll have a successful touchdown.
Professor, what can ISRO learn from this latest development with Russia's Luna-25 mission and eventual crash?
So ISRO's soft landing attempt on Chandrayaan-2 was also not successful. So we have learned many things from that. These are tricky maneuvers, and I think every failure teaches us a lesson. So we have strengthened the legs, we have updated our software, and we have made sure that the debooster will work and it will have a vertical landing, near vertical landing. There are still many hurdles because Chandrayaan-3 has to find its own landing site based on the pictures which it has received, and that has to be relatively smooth. You know, there are craters and boulders and rubbles on the moon, so it will find some safe place, and around 70 degrees south it will land.
Professor, finally, now that you've mentioned Chandrayaan-2 and its failed mission, do you think that India, still talking about that, has gained its experiences and even knowledge from Chandrayaan-2 mission and its failure, and going forward with their future, space explorations, they can do something better about it?
Yeah, surely. I think the whole thing started with Chandrayaan-1 when this mission Chandrayaan-1 discovered water on the moon. And water, as you know, is a very miraculous molecule. It has hydrogen. One can use that hydrogen as fuel. And it has oxygen, which is required for human support. So that is near the South Pole. There are billions of tons of water we discovered on the moon. And therefore, there is some attempt to land there and study the mineral and chemical composition. So let us hope, there are still many steps to go. The lander has in its lap the rover. Let them land safely, nearly vertical, and then the rover has to come out and do the mineral and chemical analysis and estimate even what is underground on the south pole of the moon. So we have a lot of stages yet to cover, and let us hope that it will all go on well.
Indeed, Wednesday is D-Day for India and indeed the whole world, so let's hope for the best. I've been talking to Professor Narendra Bhandari. He's a space scientist and also Chandrayaan mission of ISRO from Ahmedabad. Professor Narendra, thank you very much for all your inputs and for talking to WION World is One today.
Yeah, it has been a pleasure. Thank you very much.
WION is now available in your country. Download the app now and get all the news on the move.